Welcome to TopBranch, a series from the Dove Agency, where we're rooted in stability and reaching for growth. Join the Dove Agency and our special guests as we bring you expert insights and practical solutions to help your interior design business thrive. This is TopBranch. Let's grow together.
Hi everyone, I'm Ruth Ann Janson, and this is our special guest, Janet Marcum. We are back with another episode of TopBranch. I'm so happy to have Janet here today. She is a CPA in the Dallas area, and she has a firm that specializes in individuals and small businesses. And we have known each other about three years or so. And it's just been really helpful because the Dove Agency, we don't provide income tax services. And many times, whether we're onboarding a new client or we've had a client around for 5 years, they come to us and they're looking for help in that area. So it's been nice to have Janet and have her available to meet with some of our clients and then take them on as clients on her own. And so I thought it'd be fun to have her today. And we're going to talk as also a fellow accountant. So we're going to try not to nerd out and talk about too many details on the income tax side, but we just wanted to hit a few topics that, things that Janet has seen with Dove Agency clients that have come her way, kind of designers. And maybe let's kick that off with the first question, Janet, of what are some top issues or most asked questions that interior designers come to you when you first meet with them?
Sure. So one of the big things that interior designers ask us about is what business type should they be? They typically start out small. It's probably only them. And then as their business grows, should they stay a sole proprietor or should they become an S Corp? And these are important things to consider. You don't have to make the decision right away, but pretty quickly you need to determine what you want to be for the future because there are income tax considerations. So definitely it's something that as your business gets off the ground, maybe it's good to already have that conversation, but definitely as your business grows, you want to make sure that you've set yourself up appropriately for the future. Another issue that people bring up too in this field is, can they deduct their home office expenses? Should they have a separate studio? What if they bring clients to their house and show them furnishings that they have in their house? And that's really specific to the interior design world because, most other businesses aren't bringing people into their home and showing them furnishings or remodeling jobs or things like that. So it's definitely something that you want to talk to your CPA about before you chart down a path. So those are questions that you want to ask, what is allowable at home? What should I be deducting there? What should I be buying for my home or keeping as samples or showing clients or whatnot? So that's really specific in this world. And you want to talk to a tax professional.
Do you have any, just on regarding the home office pieces, do you have any advice in terms of what kind of documentation they should have to support any of those expenses if they plan on deducting them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more the better. You can't have too much when it comes to backup on that. A lot of it when it comes to home office is, are you exclusively using it for this business? And if you are, then it could be eligible to be a home office. But then, you want to keep everything related to the expenses of running that house, running the property where the home office is. So, it's your typical things, your utility statements, your property tax bill, your homeowner's insurance, your internet, things like that. You probably have these things, but you just need to be mindful about keeping them in one place so that you can access them when it's time to prepare your tax return and when it's time for your CPA to ask about them. And my rule of thumb is, keep it if you think it might be even remotely relevant. And then ask your CPA about it later.
That's good advice.
Yeah, keep track of everything.
Yeah, great. What about, just in terms of best practices? We talked about most asked questions. What about best practices, just, whether it's a individual as a solopreneur running a design firm, whether they maybe have 3 or 4 employees, or even a larger firm, and maybe they're the same, maybe they're different, but what are some ideas around best practices they can have for tax prep in the future?
Yeah. So, What I find with my interior design clients and other clients as well is that they are likely fantastic at their craft, but it doesn't mean that they know a lot about journal entries and financial statements and everything. So please don't be afraid to rely on experts in this field so that you can focus on what you're amazing at and let somebody else handle the mundane, bookkeeping and things like that. But use a bookkeeper, use accounting software or, interior design software that syncs up with accounting software. Definitely take advantage of the products that are out there and the people that are out there so that you are not scrambling at the end of the year or wondering what you should have done differently or trying to figure out what something was that happened 8 months prior. Start at the beginning with using people, using products that will make your life easier.
What are when you see clients that come through the door that haven't been using a bookkeeper, that have a business of size that maybe warrants it, what are some of the things that you see? And then also, how does that translate into actually like more time and fees on your end so that they're actually paying more than they may have been otherwise if they would have had their house in better order?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of things that people say to me are, well, I think I spent this, so-and-so. I know I bought something for my business, but I can't remember what it was. So, I mean, if you use accounting software for this, it's so easy to upload a receipt, attach it into the accounting software, and then you don't have to worry about that receipt anymore. It's saved, and you're not trying to track it down, 8, 10, 12 months from now. So I definitely see that when people aren't using these sorts of things, they're probably missing some deductions because they forgot about them or they couldn't remember what they were. Or they needed to be able to talk to their accountant about whether it would be deductible. But if they don't have any proof to back it up, how can I advise them on whether it would have been deductible or not? So, I mean, I definitely see a difference in time spent. And there's just money savings because you're probably missing deductions if you're not doing this. And maybe you just can't talk to the CPA about what is deductible or not if you don't have the paperwork and the records.
Right. Yeah. Well, that segues into kind of maybe some ideas or tips around tax planning. I know when we were kind of prepping for this episode, I was sharing with Janet that one of the things that happens with our clients so frequently is around tax, whether it's October or April, kind of depending on when they're filing, there is sometimes a lot of surprise around that number, whether it's higher or lower than they thought it was going to be. And maybe their spouse is equally as surprised by this. And so how can tax planning sort of soften that blow and kind of alleviate a little bit of that surprise?
Yeah. And I mean, I will say that it's not just tax planning. I mean, it's working with a bookkeeper throughout the year too. Like that's kind of your first step. That helps eliminate some of the surprise, and that really segues into what your tax planner can do for you. If they have financial statements that are current that they can rely on, they can give you good advice. They can give you timely advice about what's coming up or what to prepare for. So, I mean, I would just say, work with a bookkeeper, get your books in good order. You can make better decisions if you have recent financial statements that you can rely on. Then you can work with your CPA, and your bookkeeper can work with your CPA to go over these financial statements. Say, hey, I didn't realize I was going to have so much net income this year. I wasn't planning for that. What do I need to do right now, midway through the year, so that I'm not surprised at the end of the year? So I think it's really important to be timely with your books, and then also rely on the experts that you have in place so that you are doing things throughout the year that you need to be doing and before year end, because there are some things that you just have to do before the end of the calendar year if they're going to show up on or if they're going to have an effect on your tax return.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like just in terms of our bookkeeping services, it's very important in our model that we're sort of having the weekly touch points with our clients and trying to get as many of those transactions categorized weekly so that when the month end comes, we can reconcile, and the designers really have good information within 10 or so days after month end. Because like you said, if you're so behind, like you don't even know what you're looking at, and if your CPA starts asking you questions, you can't even provide answers to those. So there's really nowhere to go with that. Okay, great. Well, I think this has been really helpful. We have a few actionable nuggets that we like to give in the episode, so I think we covered all of those. And before we close with our quote, which Janet is going to do the quote today, she's so excited. I wanted to make sure everybody knows that if you wanted to reach out to Janet, you can find her at jvwcpa.com. Is So let's close with our quote.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you for letting me be here.
Yes.
This is not exciting information, but I think it's crucial information. If you want to be successful, if you want to grow your business, if you want to make sure that you're on the right track. So thank you for letting me talk about this. Happy to speak with anybody further if you have specific questions about your situation. So my quote, it's a little funny quote. It's attributed to Bill Murray. It goes like this: "The best way to teach your kids about taxes is by eating 30% of their ice cream."
Yes. See everyone.
Yeah,
Take
bye.
care. Bye-bye.
The Dove Agency is committed to services that ensure your financial stability and growth. As part of our dedication to the design industry, we present ID Nest, a powerful software solution for designers. Built by industry experts, it integrates financial insights, project and task management, time tracking, CRM and marketing tools to streamline workflow and power your designs. Join us next time on TopBranch. And in the meantime, to learn more, visit idnest.com.